The world is looking at Haiti and feeling, once again a disaster has struck it. What do you require from the international community? What does your country need?
On a pu le constater des yeux.
As we have witnessed with our own eyes, the situation is catastrophic. The damage is enormous, not just in terms of human life, but also in terms of material loss.
Les dégâts matériels se ressentent sur les infrastructures routières.
Those losses have included roads, schools, agriculture, and homes.
On parle de 88% de destruction.
We are talking about the destruction of 88% of homes. That demands of us two forms of action. Urgent action to bring water, to bring food, medicine to the victims. We also need additional measures so people can leave shelters and go back to their homes and prevent the spread of epidemics like cholera, Zika, and chikungunya.
Tels que le choléra, le Zika ou le chikungunya.
A simple overview of the affected areas allows us to see that there are 5 bridges that have collapsed, and several kilometers of road have been washed away too. And they're talking about 2,600 schools without a roof. And we need to get the children back to school. We need to rebuild the roads. It is imperative that we regenerate agriculture so that after this initial urgent period, we don't face a food crisis, which could then lead to widespread famine. This is the challenge that we are faced with in the coming weeks.
Qu'il nous faut relever dans les prochaines semaines. Mais je demande à ce que l'aide nous permette de reconstruire les.
But I'm asking that the foreign aid allows us to regenerate our agriculture to prevent widespread famine. It should help us build a fresh water system, not just distribute bottles of water to the population. And at the same time, we need to take immediate structural action. Humanitarian assistance is indispensable, of course, but the real assistance the country needs is to rebuild the infrastructure of the country.
Voilà.
Did the Haitian government do enough to protect the people before the hurricane came? If you look at, say, Cuba, there seems to have been no loss of life or very low loss of life.
On a mené une campagne systématique.
We undertook an extensive campaign to make people aware, to mobilize them, to alert them to move away from the zones at risk. Had we not undertaken this, I fear we would be looking at a higher death toll.
Aujourd'hui, on ne saura le nombre de morts que nous serions appelés à compter.
There's been a lot of commentary that the international aid community and perhaps Haiti too failed after the 2010 earthquake. Billions of dollars came into this country and people come here and say, where did it all go? Have you learned lessons from how to cope with a disaster after 2010?
Est-ce que c'est Haïti qui a échoué?
Is it Haiti that failed? Or is it the international aid that failed Haiti? It is true that after the earthquake, all of the friends of Haiti, all of Haiti's partners mobilized to assist us, to face this monumental task. The challenges were enormous. We needed to protect and save lives. We had to assist the victims. We needed to reconstruct the country. If we're talking about foreign aid to reconstruct the country, we are still waiting on that.
Mr. President, today was meant to be the presidential election. It's been delayed because of the hurricane. Can you give any idea when the elections may take place?
La décision de fixer la date des élections.
The decision of when to hold an election is not one for the executive, nor the President. The President can sign a decree asking the people to vote, but only at the behest of the National Electoral Council. The Electoral Council is the only institution authorized to decide the date of the election. It is the Electoral Council itself that decided to postpone the elections of the 9th of October. It is not the responsibility of the executive to set a date.